Hi there, I'm Myrna Loy of Blackbright News, Managing Editor and Director. Blackbright News can be found at www.issuu.com/Blackbright News. It's a free publication that you can read. You can't download it unless you pay for it, but it's a free publication. You can just look at the different issues. There's about 55 so far, and it's been going since 2005. Anyway, today's a video. It's about immigration, and it's about lawful or unlawful deportation. I came across a news item on AOL, and it was showing a Swedish girl fighting for the right of somebody who was being deported, and by being deported it would mean that they could get killed. And it's quite interesting, so I'm going to show it to you and then I'm going to comment afterwards.
He's going to get deported to Afghanistan, where there's war, and he's going to get killed. And I'm not going to sit down until this person is off the plane. Because he will most likely get killed if he is on this plane when he's filming myself, because there are a lot of people here watching, and I don't think that all of them want to be on the camera. But as long as a person is standing up, and if more people are standing up, then the pilot can take off. If the person is getting deported.
It's not the pilot who decides.
The pilot can decide not to go. That's his ultimate decision.
I don't care what you think.
I'm just asking, what is more important, your life or the time?
What about all these children on here? You are frightening. Turn your phone off.
Don't take my phone. Thank you. So, an English guy just got really angry and he stole my phone, but the flight attendant was really nice and took it back for me and gave it back. Thank you.
Aynı düşüncedeyiz yani. O çocuğu ölüme göndermenin bir anlamı yok. Ya çocuğu indirsinler ya hep beraber biz gelelim.
So there's a Turkish guy helping me out and telling me that what he's doing is right?
They are with you.
He's with me.
Also
with him. And some people are really applauding all this that I'm doing.
Both you and that passenger will not fly, okay?
Okay, can I go at the back to see him go down? Can I go back out of that?
There's the officers. Let us know what's the procedure.
Yes, I want to.
Well, the outcome of that is that she got the person off of the plane. She had to get off as well, but she managed to get that man not to be deported. Now, did you notice the English person's response, how hostile he was? He's using the children and saying they're frightened. But what is more frightening? For her to be videotaping herself, or to see a man snatch away a phone from a female who is trying to defend a fellow human being from being illegally deported? Now, I say it's illegally deported because there are deportations, and I'm going to read this little bit for you because I can't remember it off by heart. Deportations that breach individuals' human rights or rights under the European Refugees Convention. A deportation order should not be made against an individual if removing them from the UK would lead to a breach of the UK's duties under the European Convention on Human Rights. Now, that lady must have known that to be so strong and so firm. I didn't know that. I wonder if that was a black person. Well, they're not from the EU anyway. I doubt if they'd come under that. Whether the outcome would be the same. I always have to talk from a black-centered perspective because that is the purpose of my channel. But it is interesting that he was a 52-year-old from the EU, and he was likely to be, I don't know why he would be murdered or killed if he went back. Only they know that. But I was just it's amazing that an individual would do that. It's a stranger to her. She stood up for him. Actually, I wonder how she even knew he was being deported. I wonder if he was sitting next to her and told her, or how that actually happened. We only get a little chunk of the story as usual. We don't know how Whether he was the person sitting next to her, whether he disclosed it to her, who knows? But, you know, she was getting quite emotional in a short space of time, because this is only between the, as far as we know, the plane, getting on the plane and getting off the plane to let him off. I don't know if she had any contact with him outside the plane. We don't know. But all of these things are factors as to why an individual would stand up like that and defend somebody to the extent that she's actually ended up saving his life, hopefully. And so, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I don't know how many of you know in the UK that we've had a lot of deportations, especially of Caribbeans, because of the Windrush. Those who were born, those who came to the UK between 1948 and 1973, if they don't have the papers, they can be deported. They're being stateless. They've got nowhere to go. They have it's a nightmare. And it's because of this hostile policy that they've brought out to make people's lives difficult if they're in the country and they cannot prove that they're in the country. The thing with that is, though, is that those people who came over on the Windrush, they didn't need papers because they were British subjects. So they were here by right. They didn't need a visa. They didn't need anything back then. So now to bring out this law saying we need paperwork over, you know, every year that you've worked in the country, and to see all your paperwork from years and years, who's going to have that information? So a lot of people from the Caribbean and Africa have been deported and sent back to wherever their origins are from, and to a country where they don't know anyone, where they haven't got a home, where they don't have a job, and they've actually lost their jobs and their homes in the UK, which is absolute wickedness. So that gives you a little bit about immigrants and migrants and deportations, and that's all for now. Bye-bye.